Kid shows up just as Zulf's telling me about his own journey to the city. Zulf's travels ain't much compared to what the kids had to go through for all this.
Let's see. Do we want more idols on, or do we want memorial? I think we'll go with more idols for now.
Behold, the Pantheon.
So, building it adds a Kobe, which... lots of people hate this one. I'm okay with this one. It doesn't bother me too much. I'm okay with having this one on, but when you kill an enemy with a Kobe enabled, they will drop a bomb. The bombs don't do a lot of damage, but when you have big groups of enemies, like a lot of squirts, and all of them drop bombs that explode if they touch you, and they also just explode after a certain amount of time, it can deal a lot of damage.
A Kobe. The gods never liked competing for people's affections. The marshals seem like good men, he says. They treated him with dignity. Zulf brought his antique smoking pipe all the way from the terminals. Even since the Ura surrendered to us, the marshals kept a wary eye on him.
Now let's see if we can upgrade the musket some more. Also, Zulf has his own tent now. Final warning is pretty much all the secret skills in this game, none of them are like amazing. You can go through the whole game without really using them because they aren't that useful. They're mostly just for certain situations, or just when you don't feel like dealing with enemies and you just want to wipe them out. Final warning is okay though, it's kind of like a screen clearer.
It wasn't fixed, it was unbroken.
Oh, actually, the store has two more idols. Javel, enemies will take less damage, and also Hensa, which makes enemies deal more damage by both these. I don't know if I'll turn them on for what we're about to do next, though. Let's see. Take less damage or do more damage. Because what I'm about to do, it's going to be a little tough the next level if I have either of these on, I think. And I'm not doing a pro run with all the idols on. I think I'll stay with this.
Kid's ready to get real personal with hammer and musket in hand.
And for the musket, we can either upgrade its range, but it'll reduce its spread, or we can increase its spread and reduce its range. I like to have range, actually. It'll still have spread, it's just not as much, but I prefer range over the spread, I think.
You want to tune a scrap musket, you start with the barrel.
And more damage or knockback? Greater knockback? I prefer greater knockback.
The marshals learn to pack those shells full of fire.
And I've shown the focus attack. I don't like it that much just because it always makes me slide into enemies and hurt myself. I don't use the uppercut that much either, but I think I'd rather go with that than have an attack that hurts myself. And I leveled up, which means new spirit slot. Let's see. An extra life? Oh, I haven't heard what he says for Squirt Cider yet.
Squirt cider will toughen you right up. Too bad about the musty aftertaste.
Blech. Actually, there were more spirits, excuse me for a second. I think Lunkhead liqueur is what I want right now. I'm sorry for rolling so much, it's just faster.
Seems the only thing the Calamity saved for Zulf was a smoking pipe.
But first, let's switch over to Lunkhead liqueur. Now, let's check out this pipe.
Poor kid collapses after just one drag. The past. Only good thing ever come out of the past is history.
So you can see enemies are dropping bombs now. Those little glowing red things. Whoa, 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 okay.
The past catches up with the kid. Hardly had a moment's rest since all this started.
19 reflections. So, who knows where, there are a couple of these actually, are optional arena fights that also give backstory in some of the characters in the game. And they can get really tough, especially with idols on, which is why I didn't activate those other two. Because at this point in the game, 4 idols on is kind of extreme.
Fair to say he's led a hard life. Supposing what he says in his sleep ain't no lie.
And again, I prefer the musket for this particular who knows where, just because there's a lot of spawning boxes.
He never knew his old man, but he had his mama to take care of. Frail thing with pure white hair like his.
Oh. Again, gotta be careful with those bombs.
Having his mama's hair did the kid no favors while he was growing up, but he learned to hold his own out there.
Also, Were Whiskey with the shotgun is a pretty good combination. Also, there's sky bridges in all the corners, and you definitely want to use them, because the later waves will have quite a few enemies, and you can easily get cornered. You can also try and use it to drop yourself on enemies to hurt them a little bit.
School ain't working out, so the kid signs up for a turn on the rippling walls. Make his mama some money. Thanks to folks like the kid, the walls kept Ceylondia safe from whatever's out there. The elements, the Ura, you name it. Once the kid done his time, he hurried on home. Turns out his mama's time was done too.
Oh god, that's a big one. And you can see the uppercut from the hammer does some knockback. Knocks enemies back now.
The city had nothing for him. The money he'd been sending home was nowhere to be found either.
Also, the musket good for knocking these guys back. You can just defend, but it kind of keeps you in place, and when there's other enemies around, it can be a little bit of a pain. However, all the enemies do have friendly fire on, so you can defend and let them just hurt each other. Oh god.
So what'd the kid do? Why, he went right on back to the walls for another 5 years. In the history of Caelondia, nobody's ever volunteered for a second shift on the walls.
Oh man. I was hoping I can knock him off with the shotgun. There we go. Oh, come on. How am I missing?
Out there, kid learned to fend for himself. Learn to build. Learn to break. In time, the kid earned good standing with the marshals. They trusted him to scout out farther than anybody. One night, on one of his expeditions, the ground beneath him shuddered, cracked, and split apart.
I wish enemies would fall down the holes. You can. That's another problem, the turrets in this level, when they blow up, they destroy the floor that they were on.
He saw nothing where the world used to be. The calamity happened just like that. All the kid had to work with was his hammer and the clothes on his back. Through twisted streets, he ran with nothing but the city crest and an old stranger's voice to guide him. Finally arrived at Caelondia's vaunted safe haven. He and no one else.
So all the Who Knows Where segments are replayable, and there's even leaderboards for how many idols you've been using. Oh god. There's also just a plain old leaderboard for the single player, just the story. I have no idea how it scores you. It's just 1 out of 1,000 points. I was like 16th place in the Xbox Live one. I don't know what place I am anymore. Apparently, it's just...
But then, all they got was more thankless work from a man who ain't even asked his name.
Apparently the single player scoreboard just scores you on how much stuff you've discovered in the game. I can never get over like 864 points, I think. The scoreboard for the single player one I'm playing right now, which is the PC version, is completely pointless though, because people just cheat. The top 10 people have like millions of points, so why even do that? What is the point? You didn't get the points.
Sure, I may be the one who dreamt up the walls and the Bastion, but the kid made them real, not me. I'd like to say I'll never forget him, or what he's doing, what he's done. I surely would.
Huh. Well, that was the first Who Knows Where. There's several more to go, and they are all much harder than the first one was. And next time, I guess I'll finally do the repeater proving ground. And oh, there's actually a whole bunch of proving grounds. Well, next time, let's do a bunch of proving grounds. Okay, bye!